So these are my impressions of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom after putting in 80, 85 hours into it. And, you know, I wanted to give it time to simmer. That's why I didn't put out a review right away. It's probably one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. I don't say this often, but they improved everything. The world is fucking humongous. I don't even know how it fits on the Switch, to be honest. But they made a lot of changes to the traversal. Now you can, like, go up into any ceiling that you see. Even when you're, like, there's a whole underground area. There's the sky area. There's just so much in this game that I'm going to be playing it for the next 3-4 months and still probably find new things. You know, I'm easily gonna put like 200 hours into this game. And it's just insane what they've done and all the time that they've taken to kind of refine it and test out the bugs. You can see why it took them like 5-6 years to do it, and why it's one of the fastest selling games. It's the fastest selling Zelda game for sure. It sold like 10 million copies in 3 days, which is kind of insane. But you can see why, at least when you play it. It evokes that sense of adventure where you don't know where you're going to go, where you're going to end up. You see something over there, you run over there, you get distracted. My ADHD kicks in. I see, oh, what's that over there? Oh, what's this over here? And you can kind of create vehicles now. There's like this God hand ability where you can like lift stuff up and you can fuse items together. If you have like a sword and there's a rock there, you can fuse the sword with the rock and you can use that to smash other rocks. You can like fuse a rocket to your shield and have like a rocket shield and launch yourself into the air. Or like I had like a shield and there was like this spring and I fused the shield to my spring and I was able to spring jump out of this like tar pit that I was in. And honestly, the possibilities are endless with what you can fuse. You can fuse literally any item together. What you really what you would do is fuse like enemy bosses. The music is great. It's, you know, it's like the first Zelda. They added a couple new songs, but it's usually quiet unless you're in a town, and that town will have specific music. But when you're exploring around, it's pretty quiet. To kind of, you know, it just gives that sense of exploration and realism. The game is mostly the same. You have to get your hearts again, get your stamina meter again. The map is pretty much the same, minus the sky and underground areas. They've changed a couple of the towns, where some of the towns are overrun by monsters. Some of the towns look different because some shit fell from the sky and broke some shit. So they changed it enough that even someone who played the first Zelda for a long time, there are still a lot of surprises and new things that I was introduced to that it still felt fresh. I will say it's a big game. It's going to take a lot of time, a long time, and it takes a little bit to get the ball rolling because, you know, you start off with like 3 hearts and you have to learn all these mechanics. But once you really get it going and you start going through the world and exploring and solving puzzles, it's probably the greatest adventure game I've ever played. It's just insane. There's no way that this game is not going to get Game of the Year. The only thing that'll probably come close is Final Fantasy 16. The gameplay for that looks phenomenal. That would be the only game that I think can top Zelda for Game of the Year. But honestly, it's a wrap, dude. It's a wrap. Zelda's going to get Game of the Year. I'm a psychic. I can fucking see into the future. This game is phenomenal. I highly recommend everyone play it. If you like any Nintendo property, if you've liked any Legend of Zelda game before, you should play it. Now, the only caveat to that is if you played Breath of the Wild and you didn't like it, probably not going to like this game. It's pretty much the same, but they've added enough to it to justify the $70 price tag that they put on it. It's the first $70 Nintendo game, but I think it's well worth the investment. You know, I'm 85 hours in, and I'm maybe halfway with the story. I still have 30, 40 like side quests I gotta do. I still haven't even found half the Korok seeds. I still have a bunch of shrines to solve. So this is a very meaty package. It, you know, it's just worth it. It's just really good, so I highly recommend it.